Obviously, just by looking at a face TVC, takes us into our next presenter, Ms. September Brown. Over to you. Thank you.
It's really nice to see Jory and Susan. Usually we see them when it's really dark in South Africa, and it almost feels like you guys are visiting us today. So it's really nice to have you guys at the colloquium. So I'll just share my screen. There we go. So today I'm really excited to present on the UWC Scholarship of Engagement database. My name is Paul September Brown. I work in the Community Engagement Unit, and I'm one of the researchers. So, I mean, we've spoken about, we've spoken about scholarship of engagement for the past. This is the third day, and I think many of you have covered most of this already, but I just want to, as an introduction, start with scholarship of engagement embraces a critical attitude towards knowledge sharing that recognizes different cultural context, but also diversity. And it incorporates these aspects into community engagement, teaching, theory and practice, as well as integration and research. So when SOE database, how did it come to an existence? So the database is an initiative of Deputy Vice Chancellor, Prof. Vivian Lavac. It is really an extension of the SOE report, which was first launched last year. And this year we launched our second one. I think it was just a few days ago. And it basically entails all the research, the SOE citations. And I'll explain a bit more about it. But what I want to cover now is how did this come about? So initially, when I was asked, okay, we're going to create this SOE report initially, we're going to, search for engaged citations, engaged research. I was thinking, where do you even start? Like, how do you get started on this? And I had a consultation with Alison from the library, Deputy Director at the library, and we chatted about different search engines to go into, and because we needed to find citations or research done by UWC scholars. And through searching, through having a look and I suppose searching and looking at different search engines, we finally realized that the Microsoft Academic Search Engine for our particular task was the best one, because one of the filters in there, we could input UWC research. So any scholars doing research would most likely come up within this engine. So initially when we put in all our filters, we came up with hundreds, definitely a few thousands of citations. And we were thinking, okay, so now this is all the research that UWC have done. And by the way, the search was done from 2015 to 2019 initially, and this year, 2020. And obviously, I mean, just for those 4 years, you came up with loads and loads of citations and research, sorry. And so we had to find a criteria of how we are going to separate the SOE citations research from all the others. And so the criteria that we put in place was we said if a citation has got types of community engagement, I call it the contact points that you have with community. And remember, like Kunal said, I think yesterday, that community is not just out there, it's within the university as well. We get community in different spaces and environments. And so it is teaching and learning research such as PAR, community engagement, service learning, work integrated learning, community service, field education, internship, and volunteerism. So that was our criteria for determining whether a citation or research will fall into the SOE category. Then currently the database is, has got citations from all the faculties. We are currently building up the support units, divisions and center section. And it's got citations from 2015 to 2020. It also has approximately 1,306, I think I've got the number correct there, citations currently in it. So why SOE database? Firstly, it highlights research conducted at UWC by engaged scholars. However, it doesn't mean that if a scholar has not published the work that they've done, that they're not engaged scholars. It's just sometimes, I mean, I work on the community engagement database as well, and there is so many engagements happening at UWC, but you know, whether it's resources or whether it's time, sometimes it's difficult to put it on paper. Sometimes it's difficult to do research on it. Secondly, the SOE database can serve as a promotional tool, providing information about engaged research initiatives at UWC. Why? Because it is accessible to everybody. Yeah, it's accessible to scholars at UWC, but as well as scholars at Missouri University, anybody can access it. So you basically go to it, you fill out your name, you get a user ID, a password, submit, then you have access to the Scholarship of Engagement database, but you will also have access to the Community Engagement database, 2 databases. And those 2 databases can tell a story of how engaged UWC is and how involved UWC is. And therefore, we believe that this platform of knowledge sharing coordination can lead to the development of partnerships on and off campus. You know, it might be someone go today, maybe today after this presentation, decide, let me go and look at this SOE database that Paul's been bragging about. And they come across citation research that they're quite interested in fact, that they might be involved in. And they might then decide, maybe I should contact that person at UWC, maybe we can collaborate. So we're hoping that this database can potentially develop partnerships, and because everybody on and off campus has got access to the database. So in closing, the SOE database contains a wealth of knowledge obtained from various disciplines at UWC in relation to engaged research, which can be used to facilitate interdisciplinary collaboration within the university, but as well facilitating community university partnership opportunities. So I would like to briefly so that is the portal. If you copy that, maybe Kunal or later I can copy that into the chat. If you copy that, paste it into Google, it will take you to the portal. If you're not from UWC, you just create a new account. If you're from UWC, you just put in your staff Noval user password and ID. All right, so let me take you on a bit of an exploration into the database. All right, so I'm obviously logged in already because of time. So I just want to show you, can everybody see my screen? So at the top, you can see that's the community engagement database. And that's the new Scholarship of Engagement database, which we're basically launching. And so let's go into it. So overview.
Ms. September,
Yes.
September round, apologies, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. So then we have an overview. We've got a message from the DVC academic, Prof. Vivian Levac. We've also got Director of CEU, Prof. Priscilla Daniels. And then just quickly, let's just go into the faculties. Like I said, we've got support units as well. So we have a look at the faculties. If we go into arts, so every single faculty that you go into, you will see the Dean's message with the Dean's picture. If we scroll down, you can see the different years of the citations. And if we go to 2020, Let's go into second one. And the idea is that it immediately takes you to the actual article. However, I must admit that it is quite a process to maintain the database, because what we have realized is, let me show you, sometimes initially you've got a link and the link work, but like I'm going to show you now, then all of a sudden this happens and you don't have access to the article anymore. So what we've decided to do instead is, we've got it all over there, we downloaded the actual article, we place it in the drive. So when you click into that link, you'll still get access to the actual article. So like I said, it's a ongoing maintaining process of the database. And some of the links will only take you to the abstract, but we are trying to build it up so that it actually takes you totally to the actual article. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Paul, thank you so much. I was so engrossed with your presentation that I lost track of time. I'm really excited about this. This is the first time actually I see and hear about this. So thank you very much for your presentation. And I think it sets up our next speaker, Professor Daniels, amazingly. And Paul, I will be in contact with you over the next few days. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to that.
Professor, thank you. Professor Daniels, if you are ready, over to you.